Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to CricBuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
Let's just put
There's
that
one
polling
thing
card
Michael
up
said,
there.
Gautam.
Yeah, go ahead, Asha.
Yeah, Michael, there's one thing Michael said. He said always you judge a side when they've lost a couple of games. So I'd like to see how the tide of Gujarat come back from this, because I noticed a couple of things. Twice Hardik Pandya seemed close to losing it as a captain. Once he hit his head 2 or 3 times. I said, what's happening? Once when Ferguson got hit there, you could read his lips. I don't know if that's just frustration and he gets over that quickly, or he thinks no, whether that's a little glimpse into the mind of a captain when things are going wrong. So I'd like to see how they come back, especially if they lose another, and then let's see whether the inherent structural weaknesses in the top 4 start to come out.
Well, I'll add one more bit to what Harsha just said. It was all those, and there was a time he had a go at poor Sai Sudarshan for not saving 2 when it was clear that Nicholas Pooran had hit it with just the right amount of weightage. There was always 2 in that, and you could hear Swanee on commentary going, Usain Bolt wouldn't have cut that off. So I'm not sure if he was expecting Sai Sudarshan to be 15 yards in which case you're taking a chance with Pooran hitting that big shot. So it was just, it just seemed at times that he was, I wouldn't quite say losing it, but expressing negativity.
Never judge your captain when it's going well. Always judge your captain when there's a little bit of adversity and there's times of difficulty, if you want to use that word, or you lose a game and potentially you might lose another game, and you've got to manage players, you've got to kind of pump up the tires to get that confidence levels back. That's the art of captaincy, is not when it's easy and you're winning and you're clearing teams out of the park. Many people can captain in those kind of scenarios. It's when you get to a stage of a tight game, can you inspire your players around you to hold the pressure, stay in the game for longer periods, utilise different aspects of your team when 1 or 2 of your players aren't quite having that game that you would have expected. You look at someone like Lockie Ferguson, didn't have the game today that they would have expected. Could have utilised someone else on a given day, or did he just say, I've got Lockie Ferguson, he's going to bowl me 4 overs because it's Lockie Ferguson? So this is the infancy stages of his captaincy, and it, like as you do as a batter, as you do as a bowler, the most important aspect of captaincy is actually analysing after the game what you've done and what you've thought and how you've acted, and learn from if he's made mistakes and his mentality wasn't quite right at that particular moment. You can improve as a captain every single game, and that's something that he'll have to learn on.
Yeah, and especially what's the external part of it, Harsha. I mean, he is a performer. Whether for the right or wrong reasons, he's appeared on chat shows. So he knows what it is to be in the public eye. He knows that people are looking at him. So he knows that if he's hit his head like that, there's going to be slow-mo memes for the next 1 week.
There's always a captain cam, isn't there? It's a 27, 28 camera coverage. There's always one on the captain. Always. He'll get there. Maybe he's just naturally a very expressive person. You see that when you do conversations. I did CricBuzz in conversation with him, and he was expressive. He was gesturing. So maybe he's just that kind of person. So this will be interesting to see now. Okay, what do they do in the next game? So he said there was 7 to 10 short, Gautam.
Yeah.
Hardik Pandya says at the end we were 7 to 10 short. That would have made a difference. And he said we'll have a chat and a laugh before our next game.
That's the line that stuck with me, Harsha. I mean, I'm sure it would have with you as well. And I think that's probably the right way to go about it.
I don't know. I've never led a team that's lost a game and has to come back, so I would know.
Yeah. Get a comedian in to tell them a few jokes. Have a laugh and they'll be all right.
I'm sure there's no shortage of laughs with Ashish Nehra in that dressing room.
Yeah, I'm sure. But sometimes, that's what's required. You need a little bit of light-hearted banter in the dressing room, and I'm sure they'll have characters within there that will create some kind of vibe and buzz. But ultimately, it is around the next game, the next performance. Can they play better? And that's they'll be honest and truthful with each other. They just didn't play to the standards that we'd seen. The last game I thought they got a bit of a warning. They only just got over the line. The first 2 games I thought they were a bit more consistent. And then in the last 2 games they've now lost. They only just won the previous game. So there's areas of the team, it's a new franchise that they'll know that they can improve upon.
Yeah, let's not forget about that last gasp victory last time around. It was spectacular, but it was last gasp. Yeah, just to add to what Hardik said, Harsha, at the pre-match, Shubman Gill mentioned that it's Ashish and Hardik who keep things light in the dressing room, and they try and make sure that anything that happens on the field, particularly negative, doesn't get carried off it.
Yeah, it sounds good, as Michael said at the start. Sounds good to say that when you're winning. If they lose a couple, then it'll be interesting to see what the conversations are, because they will lose a couple. This is the IPL. You never string together 5, 6, 7 games. You will lose 2 on the trot somewhere, sometimes 3 on the trot somewhere. So that is when you're tested, and that's why it's such a grueling tournament, because everybody is tested at some point. It's very rare. I think it might have been CSK one of the years, or might have been Mumbai in 2020 when they cruised through the whole season. Otherwise, it hardly ever happens.